to Off Track with Whiskey Six, folks. It is Sunday night. Well, kind of. We're pretending it's Sunday. How's that? Is that good enough? We can pretend. Oh, my gosh. I hope you guys had a great week. Got some great shows out there this week on Mojo 50. And tonight, we have the special guest, Big Sarge, in the house. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Doing really great. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, dude. We are ready. We've been waiting for this for a long time. So happy to have you in with us. I don't really have anything to go over tonight, but I think we could put some. He's already going. Damn, Rusty, how you doing?
Radio aluminum from the get-go.
What's happening?
No, actually, I'm totally giving you shit, Rusty. I do have a couple of daily dumbasses we can go over real quick, kind of set the mood for the night. I just wanted to set you up.
Yeah. So where am I supposed to be getting these words from, or is somebody going to give me the word to try to read?
They're your words.
Oh, they're my word. Well,
whatever you come up with, brother, that's your segment.
No, that's Chris's segment. This was Chris's idea.
Oh, well, Chris's
It's
big
true.
words.
It's Chris's segment to mess with Rusty.
Chris's big words with Rusty Lugnuts.
I'll give you your first word, Rusty. Blinking.
Yes. Matrix. In and out. On and off. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Anyway. All right. Right on to our first daily dumbass. Actually, this goes back to the 7th. Who says you can't have fun after you've been arrested? You guys ever been? Has anybody here ever been arrested? Oh, okay. Well, 2. Oh, 3. And okay, I have not. I have been cuffed and stuffed. That's as far as it went until finally that jackass decided to admit that it was him and not me. But the 3 of you have. That's okay. I was thinking no one.
Bar fight.
Oh, well, yeah. I used to stop bar fights and they would get arrested. That was many lives ago. Okay, anyway, so having fun after you've been arrested, actually in the cop car, 28-year-old woman named Catherine. Kind of close to Karen, right? She's a Karen. In Kentucky, arrested Friday, put in the back of a cop car in handcuffs. In handcuffs. Somehow she managed to still retrieve a baggie of drugs. You may see where this is going yet before I get. I mean, any.
Was she doing drugs in the back of the cop car?
Okay, yes. She was cuffed. Now, mind you, her hands are behind her back. Okay.
That's pretty impressive.
That's some talent.
I mean, okay, so it doesn't say they were behind her back. I guess maybe they were nice and they cuffed her in front, but I don't think so, according to the story.
Well, I mean, I guess the question then is she hot?
Yes, exactly.
I don't know. There's not a picture of this daily dumbass.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd want to, but she retrieved a baggie of drugs from, of course, yes, her lady parts. And she snorted them. Look, I mean, why are you going to take them out of one? Sorry, we're getting graphic here. Why are you going to take them out of one mucous membrane and snort them up another mucous membrane?
Damn.
Let them be.
To be exposed to those things.
Yes, to be exposed to those things. Thank you, Doc Thompson. So then she hid them again. She took them, snorted them, and put the baggies back down there. Before the cops got her out of the car. All that happened before they got her out of the car. I mean,
but because we know it, I'm guessing maybe they watched her.
No, I think that she had probably gone in. I don't want to say sober. What's that word I'm looking for? When you're not high. Thank you. When you're not high.
There's a rusty word. Rusty, there's a new word for you since whiskey doesn't know what it means.
I don't know what's a technical word for not high.
Sober?
No, that's drunk.
No, it wouldn't be the same for not high.
It works for both. I bet you we could ask Candy J real quick. He would know.
We have our own AI tonight. That is Rusty Lugnuts, by the way, because our technical Rusty over there is fading in and out.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, you're
Remember
not really
Max
with us.
Headroom back in the 80s?
Yes, Max Headroom. I
Yeah.
remember this.
Rusty.
Anyway. So I think someone needs to give this chick a special on ABC. I mean, that's more.
The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
That's more impressive than that one magic guy. What's his name? Dick.
David Copperfield.
David Blaine, David Copperfield, one of them guys. Okay, so okay, fine, fair enough. And ooh, my computer's glitchy. I think it's Rusty's fault. As I get back up here. Okay, here we go. Here's your next Daily Dumbass. Today's Daily Dumbass is from Arkansas. He's done lost his complete mind. This guy's name is Roger. Another guy my age. Last night we did a guy who was our age. This guy is 49 years old. He's a grown-ass man. He stole a box of bagel bits from a Dollar Tree. The manager chased him outside. Then Roger assaulted the manager by hitting him in the head with bagel bites, excuse me. That's an assault weapon. See? That's an assault style bagel. Right? Long and pointy.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Rusty, there's no smoking on the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like,
Why don't you tell your wife I got my ass kicked by a bunch of bagels?
I know, right? So then Roger runs off and he hides in a Wendy's. And he wound up slapping a woman while he was there. So he's assaulting someone with assault bagels and then slapping a woman in a Wendy's. I don't have time to give you a complete list of charges Roger was arrested on there, but there's not enough punishment available for disrespecting bagel.
With a lethal bagel.
Yes.
Everyone in this room
Pretty much.
is now dumber for having listened to it.
What? Have a point.
Yeah.
Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if drugs were involved in that, because it just seemed like he was batting 1,000 that night, assaulting just people randomly, I guess, going into a place and attacking a woman or smacking her. I mean,
Maybe he just came out of the same cop car as the other girl did.
maybe she offered some drugs, and God knows where those have been.
Yeah, they were sharing. Maybe she dropped some and he got some.
Okay. Well, I don't remember where did it say she was from, but he's from Arkansas. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, that's enough dumbasses for the day. Rusty?
yep.
No, Rusty, it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn.
What's hard in the news?
I don't know what's hard in the news, but I got some stuff that happened today in history.
Okay.
I don't.
Tell us about
it. Anyway, 1778, Captain Cook passes through the Bering Strait. All right.
Bering Strait?
That's what it says.
Okay, does it happen to say what? Wait. So it's July, right? I'm sorry, August of 1778.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes it cold. It's between Russia and Alaska, which wasn't even Alaska then.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah.
I've been up there. I've not been out to the end of the Aleutian chains, but I was stationed 13 miles from the coast to where the islands start. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be in the ocean.
When you think about what just people in general did, like this guy, 1778, in a boat, up in the Bering Strait. They didn't have the modern clothing that we had, or nothing. And I mean, these are some tough sons of bitches,
Hardcore, man. Hardcore for sure.
You know, and of course, we're going completely off track already with this, but you bring up a good point that I've always thought about, especially living out here in the Southwest. Cowboys and especially, yeah, I know this is stereotypical, cowboys and Indians, but you think back in the day where all they had was leather-soled shoes or boots, and before there were shoes and anything in the world, people didn't have shoes. They're walking around in this stuff with nothing. How are you, man, dude? Okay, soft dirt, fine grass. Well, there wasn't really grass to speak back then, but you know, the prairies, and God knows what you're going to step on. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
People were freaking tough. No wonder they didn't live very long.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's right.
It's odd. People, first world problems. Hell, even third world problems got it made these days.
Yeah, I didn't realize this. 1803, the first horses arrive in Hawaii.
Okay. There were no. Okay.
No, there were no horses in Hawaii until 1803.
Wonder what they had before that. I mean, not to ride and all that, but I mean, I wonder if there were livestock there, because I don't think they have cattle there. I think those were obviously imported, right?
I would imagine.
I mean, they weren't just popping cows out of the volcanoes.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder. You have to
Yeah.
research that and get to us. We should do some history on stuff like that.
I love history.
I do too.
Yeah.
All of that junk.
What else? And all of that junk. Let's see. 1902, Edward VII of England crowned after death of his mother Victoria. So there's that.
Kick their ass in the war. Move on.
Yeah. 1936, Jesse Owens wins his 4th gold medal at the Berlin Olympics, which, you know, Hitler just loved that shit.
Wasn't there a big controversy over that when it happened? Does anybody
Yeah,
know?
they didn't like it.
Well, I know, but I mean, wasn't there a ceremony issue or something?
Yeah, I think
thought
a lot of
something.
people boycotted the ceremony.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Okay, what's next?
Here's I think these two events are like some of the biggest worldwide events that you don't really think about until you think about it. U.S. drops a second atomic bomb on Japan on this day in 1945. What was the name of the city?
Nagasaki.
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 Yeah, whatever.
What did you expect? Consider the clientele sitting around you. Not
Yeah,
client.
yeah. I know.
Most of the audience had it before we did.
Yeah, probably. I had to take a breath and compute.
All right, so now I said this yesterday, but it's saying it's today, so somebody's wrong somewhere. Richard Nixon resigns the presidency. And now the other thing said it was yesterday. Who knows?
Maybe he wasn't done signing his paperwork until after midnight.
It took him a while.
It is the
And that was yeah, that's true. And that was 1974. Huh?
I was just how old was I was 4 years old in 74 this time. Chris,
I was
-3
at this time. I was
I was gonna say Chris wasn't born yet. Chris, damn, you're young.
Looks like Big
Yeah,
Sarge
I was
does 4
3.
too.
Yep.
Are you the same age as mine, or as mine as me?
Yep.
Oh, damn.
must be.
See, 1970 babies. What's up? Oh.
I was almost a 72 baby, but I'm 71. Okay. Word of the day. Are you ready?
Hold on, you wait. We got a sounder for that first.
Oh, no. What don't we have a sounder?
Big words with Rusty Lugnuts.
He gets all the sounders. Get him out of the way.
The word of the day is omnium gatherum.
So that's,
Not only did he go with big words, he busted out some Latin, I think.
is that a big gatherum?
I don't know. It's it is a miscellaneous collection.
I would have never got that.
No, I would have.
I would have thought gathering or something like you
Yeah.
did. Like maybe a huge gathering or a big gathering or
A
something.
Trump. It's a Trump rally,
There you go, Trump rally.
as opposed to an Elizabeth Warren or any of the mother fools.
Well done. That was the first Big Words with Rusty Lugnuts.
I like
And now, Big Words with Rusty Lugnuts.
No. Okay. All right.
good.
All right, folks. Well,
See, going forward, I think we need to have Chris pick a word out and then like throw it up on the screen, and I'll try
You
to
will dissect
say it.
We'll do that. I'm going to pick the word next week, and you get to try and pronounce it.
There we go.
hey, I got one. Pronounce this: LGBTQX248.
Oh crap!
That's not a word.
That's correct.
Look,
Yes is the answer. LGBT stuff, whatever. Okay, fair enough. Fine. Melissa Sippy's not joined us yet. She is here, but she's not here. So
She's on the road. She's at a hotel.
Yes.
She's
She's on
getting settled
assignment.
in. She'll be with us in a minute.
yes. So in case everyone's wondering, it is not a complete sausage party, or it won't be. So headlines. No, just playing.
Hey, wait! What's everybody drinking?
Crap beer. Oh,
Go ahead,
Rum?
Big Sarge. What are you drinking, man?
Captain Morgan's rum.
There you go. Yeah. I am Rich and Rare and Coke Zero.
Zero with me too.
Chris.
Cherry Coke and whiskey, of course, because it's my good old-fashioned standby.
You know what? Okay. So before I forget, because I'm currently sipping on my Mojo 50 beer, and on deck is my Caskmate Stout Edition. Wow. And then there's that Melissa chick. She's always drinking good stuff, but being on assignment, is Melissa Sippy drinking anything this evening?
I am. Can you hear me? Sound
Yes,
check.
Yeah, we hear you good. You're good.
Check. Go.
Yes, I am drinking beer.
Just beer.
Just beer. Yeah. Things are a little tight right now.
Yes, and
Tough on the
on the
road.
road you don't have the choices.
Quit bragging, Melissa. Quit bragging.
Well, I'm on the road, so I'm limited to my equipment and my drink, but I do in my little travel bag my little mini mic and my Judy Bell.
My
There
Judy
you go.
Bell is- I don't know where my Judy Bell is. Anyway,
You just missed our new segment.
yes.
Uh-oh, what is our new segment?
And now, Big Words with Rusty Lugnuts.
And we're already changing it up. So Chris has to pick a word from now on, and Rusty has to
Rusty has to pronounce it.
pronounce it and maybe give us a definition.
How
Yeah,
about
possible definition.
omnomatopoeia?
Oh, what?
Omnomatopoeia.
I don't want to pee on anything.
Oh, okay.
That is a it's a word. It's a word thing. It's crap. Words that sound the same but are spelled differently.
I'm gonna go
No?
There's a blast.
no. I have no idea what the hell an onomatopoeia is.
Is that it?
Is that a bladder?
Onomatopoeia. Yeah, he got it.
It's a bladder infection.
Pretty sure.
No,
A bladder infection.
I just no.
You're thinking of a kidney infection. That's polynephritis.
Whatever.
Melissa, I'm looking for some. Was I right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I almost said it the other way. Words that
You
are
didn't pronounce it right, but you still got the definition right.
right. Okay, yeah.
All right. Anyway, hey, folks, it's about that time. Real quick, before we get to, we're going to go to break here in a bit. So what I'm going to do, actually, I don't know about Rusty.
We could
Rusty,
discuss that really ridiculous law that I found in Wisconsin.
well, we can get to that in a minute. Well, maybe. He's been flickering and he's anxious and can't pronounce words. Rusty, did you take your CBD oils today?
No, I didn't. I was busy. I didn't get to take them. Take it.
Do you know where you left them?
No, I don't.
Okay, maybe you should just order a new bottle. Where do you?
But that's
you guys know where to order a bottle of the KBMD CBD oils?
I do.
no,
I do.
it's-
Pick me.
it's just KBD CBD.
No, it's KBMD. I'm looking right at it. It's Kenneth Brown, medical doctor, CBD. It's right here, and I have a bottle.
Oh well, Brad always says KBD.
Brad's wrong.
I think the Mojo 50/shop.
Yeah, that would be a good place.
.com/shop.
Yes.
And what offer code should they use?
Promo code whiskey,
Will that save me any money?
$15 on your purchase. Yeah, and it's a good stuff too. It's highly recommended by a freaking doctor. So there's that. That's
I'm not a doctor, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
maybe
just
that's where you left your CBD oils at.
I'm staying at a La Quinta right now, and I'm not a doctor either.
La Quinta.
Mm-hmm.
All righty, guys. Well, good enough. I don't know how any of that's relevant to this.
I don't know.
Live reads.
Yeah, it's called
Some of us suck at live reads, and that's okay. KBMD CBD oils. Go over to Mojo50/shop. Put in promo code whiskey. Get your $15 off. And we still have time. So, Chris, you please go right ahead with what law were you talking about? Was this out of Wisconsin?
Yeah, I discovered today that it is actually against the law in Wisconsin to shoot dice with a squirrel 4 shots.
Like shots of alcohol?
Yeah.
With what, like a squirrel, like a brown squirrel, or a like pickled squirrel, or like what kind?
Wow, that would be bad if I couldn't shoot dice with pickled squirrel. She'd be upset.
Yeah.
But no, it's just any squirrel. They didn't specify the color of the squirrel because that's racist.
No, only Trump is racist. Haven't you learned anything yet?
Well, yeah, there is that.
I mean, that's all they can say about him. They can't get anything else to. Oh my God! He eats cereal with.
So it's not illegal to shoot dice with a squirrel, unless
Oh,
you
okay.
drink alcohol with the squirrel too.
Oh, okay. Point of personal interest.
Preference.
Well, this is personal interest. Rusty Lugnuts, racist state of Alabama, ZZM.
Never it she.
Do y'all have the black squirrels up there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dare you ask?
Really? I was just curious because
Pure white squirrels too.
Point of order.
really.
They are not white. Oh, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, Big Sarge, Mojo 50, go ahead, please.
I said I'm triggered. Point of order.
Finally, someone steps up and becomes triggered. I don't know how we would get through this Democratic Socialist Committee convention without someone becoming.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you.
Shut your dirty whore mouth. Oh my God. I think that might have been one thing that really, every time I heard it, my blood pressure went up about 3 notches, I think. Comrade, shut your front door.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's insane.
Okay, well, I had something to say, and now I don't remember what the hell it was. Can you believe
It's also illegal to worry a squirrel in Wisconsin.
Wait,
How do you worry a squirrel? That's what I want to know.
I'm not sure.
ask Casey. I don't know. Ask Casey. Okay, folks, the music saved us. As always. Don't go anywhere. Go get a drink, sit down, off track. It's time to rock, y'all. Welcome in from the other side to Off Track. Hanging out this evening. Big Sarge up in the house. Got his drink dude, that was a half hour.
I love it.
He is on track to be off track and get derailed with us. That's perfect. Jump in there whenever you want. Hey, and just for Rusty, we have an earworm. Case anybody's interested here. This is just for Rusty. Come on, y'all know what this is, right? I know, Big Sarge, you know what this is? Rusty hates me. I tried to get Brad to play this once, and he wouldn't play it. I love this song.
I
Okay.
love Carly Simon and her horse teeth.
And I know. Hey, look, it's probably the only chick in history that I like that had horse teeth that I thought was hot.
Harley was hot.
Yeah, she was. I mean, I'm sitting looking right at her. But she did have that long, drawn-out face. Anyway, okay. I want to talk about Sarge's show from Friday. But first, does anybody know Big Sarge has a book coming out?
I think I heard a little something trickling down the channel.
Well,
I heard that if we pre-order and let him know that it's for Rusty or Whiskey, he'll personalize it and send it with crayons.
Yeah, and a picture of a midget for Rusty.
Wait. I thought the crayons were only for the guys who are Marines.
No, those are the big fat crayons.
Yeah, they eat those.
Look, the only thing we're missing from this show right now is a Marine.
That's right.
I mean, we got Army, Navy, and Air Force, and and Zig's not here. He's got that Coast Guard covered. So there is that. But so the book is called Implosion: America's War on Patriotism. What inspired you to write this book?
Well, I used to go around to a lot of the 2A Second Amendment rallies in Pennsylvania, and I spoke at a few of the events. I was involved with a couple of militias here, not any longer, of course. And I seen some issues, egos, stuff like that. And folks always talked about unity in this patriot movement. When I first heard about it, I wanted to get involved with it because I felt very patriotic myself. And I wanted to be a part of something bigger than me, greater than me. And I always heard these, the key words: unity, United States, patriotism. We're all together in this. Second Amendment. It all kind of correlated into one big, atmosphere. And the more I got involved with it, and the deeper that I, delved into it, the more that I realized that there was a lot of underlying issues with it. So I decided, after a few years of being involved in it, I'm going to write a book about it. And it's not only, all doom and gloom. I provide solutions at the end, or what I think, in my opinion, provide solutions on how we can fix, the war on patriotism. Because when you wake up, all you hear on the lamestream media is patriot bad, patriot racist, patriot white supremacist, patriot KKK, yada, yada, yada. And then every time they go and do a report on a militia or something, it's always a bunch of fat guys running around in the woods that can't barely do any training. And that's the wrong perception that they're giving America. Like, these guys are anti-government, which they're not. So I said, you know what, I'm going to write a book about it.
So do you think that, like you're talking about a bunch of fat guys running around in the woods, it's like, maybe our listening audience understands, maybe they don't, but yeah, you're right. The media gives you the perception that it's just a bunch of guys who didn't have friends growing up. Maybe they were bullied and they're trying to prove a point, and they don't know what they're doing, and they're going to screw things up.
Like a mall security guard convention in the woods.
Paul Blart Mall Cop, yeah, maybe something like that.
Well, I guess it depends on what militia you're involved with. Now, the first militia that I was involved with back in the day, they were a little disorganized and didn't have their stuff together. But, I was a part of Pennsylvania Lightfoot, which, by the way, is considered a hate group on the ACLU's website. And they're not. They're furthest from it. As a matter of fact, they have more minorities in their group than they do white guys.
Really?
Spread out through the country. It's about half and half, I guess, right now. But still, I mean, you know, that's furthest from the truth. And we always hear this anti-government rhetoric from, oh, these guys are, you know, that they're training to take over the government. They're training, no, they're training to protect America from any kind of aggressor should our military not be able to, you know, and that's what it's all about.
Well, you know, you're talking about if our military is not able to, you know, it's
or if they become tyrannical.
Well, there's that too. And actually, I would actually probably fear that more than I would another entity, you know, a foreign entity coming to the United States.
Right.
I don't know. I don't have this knowledge, but it just seems in my mind that, you know, there's more guns in this country than there are people. And I don't think if you've got half a brain, you're coming to this country and going to try to invade our country. Not
right.
Like that Red Dawn.
And that's the sole reason why our country hasn't been invaded since 1812 is because, you know, most of the citizens are armed. You know, a huge majority of us are gun-toting, God-loving, and country-loving Americans. And we'll raise up against you. You decide to set foot in our country. It doesn't matter what army you're from. And you made a good point, you know, about the military, because, you know, at the end of the day, you were in the military, I was in the military, a few of us here are in the military. We know Joe's going to do what the NCOs tell him to do. You know, all they have to do is paint you as a target and paint you as something bad, as a terrorist. Patriot Act really opened the door for that. You know, all they got to do is deem you a terrorist organization, and Joe's going to shoot you at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah. At what point would a militia, or, I mean, where is the line? Where is it where, okay, this government is tyrannical and it must be changed? Who sets that standard? Who sets, where is that line at?
Again, I'm not a spokesperson for any militia or anything like that, so I can only tell you what I experienced, you know.
Right.
I was with the few that I was with. I know the first one, they didn't have a clue. All right, they didn't have a clue about anything. Now the second one, the Lightfoot, they're there for in case this ever happens. And I guess their scenario is when they start taking away your guns, that's when you need to start raising red flags and start organizing, and that's when the government's going to become tyrannical. So I would assume that that's probably going to be the tipping point of all the militias organizing.
I would actually, kind of going back to what you had said a few minutes ago, you know, you have the two options, whether being attacked by a foreign entity. Okay, so first, being attacked by a foreign entity.
Right.
If that were to ever happen, I don't care which side you're on, left, right, you know, down the middle. Like you said, a lot of people on both sides own weapons, and I guarantee you the country would be united then, and we would just whip some ass. But on the flip side, if it's the tyrannical government, I don't know if the left is going to stick up for us. I just think we would stay divided, but then they also have weapons. Yes, some of them are trained, but I think we're still whooping their ass.
Yeah, of course we are. And it's sad because it's going to get down to that. If, you know, should the second Civil War at this point, you know, from everything that I've learned from being attached to everybody and being in the military and being out there, seeing a lot of this transpire, we're in for a very volatile civil war if it should happen. Hopefully it won't happen in my lifetime or hopefully it won't happen at all. But I think the precedents will be set the minute they start taking the guns away. The minute they start going door to door and confiscating your guns, they probably won't even do it that way. But the minute that they get the inkling that that's going to happen, then that's when the shit's going to hit the fan, the proverbial SHP.
I think the thing that worries me the most is, well, besides what you're talking about, you know, the progressivism of however they decide to take weapons away, you know, just that inch at a time, and then they're getting things done. But the thing other than that, if the military gets involved and with the technology these days and drones and just, you know, we have they have aircraft, and they have tanks, you know. I mean, look, if we're all banding together and we're in compounds and stuff, we're done.
Right, we are.
You have to individuals, or small groups.
Ronald Reagan said it the best when he said, "How soon we'll forget our differences should we ever be invaded by outworldly creatures or outworldly, entities. How soon everybody will put all those divisions aside and fight as one." But who knows? Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. I would like to think our country's getting better, and I always preach about, getting into your state and local governments, getting involved, getting off your asses and going out there and voting. Believe it or not, it does work. And, I preach that 24/7 almost on every show. And we got to organize just as much as the left, because 400 and some seats are coming open in the Congress and the Senate this time around. And if we don't do something, and the Democrats win the House and the Senate, even if President Trump gets reelected, he's screwed.
But,
Go ahead, Melissa.
But what about, post 9/11 and 9/12? Never forget. How long, in your opinion, how long did that last?
Maybe 5 years max. Yep.
Because we did come together, and we're completely divided again. And so it lasted about 5 years. What do you think changed?
The Patriot Act, I think, changed everything. I really do. I think that was the biggest debacle. And then, of course, the conspiracy theories involved with 9/11 no longer became conspiracy theory. Some of it became fact and truthful. So a lot of that weighed in. And then, of course, the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. And believe it or not, President Obama, I hate to say that, because I had hoped that he was the first black president, that he was going to heal that divide. And I voted for him the first time around because I didn't like McCain. I despised McCain because I'm a veteran. And I knew McCain was a veteran, but I despised him because I knew how shady he was. And I just didn't do enough research into Obama, which I should have. Of course, I didn't vote for him the second term. I didn't like Mitt Romney either, but it was the lesser of the two evils. And unfortunately, he was probably one of the main problems on why that transpired.
I know you had talked at length on your show when you had Friday. You had Watson Prunier from Battle of Freedom, who's also a show host on Mojo 50. He comes on every morning at what time is it? 6 a.m. No, 7
a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, there it is.
I like him.
Show, and it's a great show. But you guys have talked at length about race and the division in our country. And I don't remember if it was you or if it was Watson or Zach. I don't remember who actually said it, but it was well, first of all, Watson actually. You'd ask Watson about if there's any racial tension on the show, and he made the joke. He's like, "Yeah, I had a lot of racial tension because I just learned you and Zach voted for Obama." Yeah, right. I thought, oh my God. Now, see, that's how we do it. Man, look, we all bleed red. I don't care what damn color you are. Yes, there's racism out there. And you had actually said on the show that if it weren't for politics and the division in this country, that probably would be the racism that we have. I think it would still exist, but to no measure of what it is now, I guess. And
party system ruining us. And I truly believe that if we didn't have a two-party system, we just voted for the man and his politics or his values and ethics, then it would be a different story. I think the divide, and they also did, and the New York Times did this. We all know New York Times is a very liberal, progressive newspaper. They did a study on this and found out that Trump supporters are more tolerant than on the left. I mean, big surprise there.
I was going to say, I hope they didn't have to do a study for that, really. I mean,
they did, though.
No, they're just actually, they're finally being honest with not only themselves, but with America if they put that in print.
There's a perfect example of that with that new movie coming out, The Hunt.
Yeah, we talked about that too.
Yeah, I was going to say I had briefly heard. I came into the middle of the conversation. So, is this supposed to depict something about Trump? Is that right?
Yes, it's a movie about some high society people shooting down other high society people that were never Trumpers. I mean, always Trumpers. I'm sorry. Anybody with the MAGA hat, anybody that's a deplorable.
Well,
They're hunting down deplorables, right?
Elitist liberals hunting deplorables.
They said, yeah, they didn't actually come out and specifically say Trump or anything about Trump or MAGA.
No, that's tongue in cheek. It's supposed to be a satire, but
I guess if you wanted to take it like that's what the movie's actually about, you could say they're inciting violence.
Yeah.
You think?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, like you're talking about, you actually said it on the show with Watson as well. Look, I don't care what color you are; it's the content of your character, and that's actually Martin Luther King.
Oh wow! Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah.
Right.
At the end of the day, I don't really care, and I'm a guy that went into the military at 17 and got out in his early 40s. So I mean, I grew up that it didn't matter what race, ethnicity, religion. I didn't care who you worship. At the end of the day, when the bombs fell, if you didn't have my 6 or you didn't have my right or left, then, I didn't care about you. But, we look at it differently. Everybody wore green back then, Yeah,
right. Yeah, and now it's, what are you doing, Melissa? Trying to block your dog from us?
I thought she was doing
She's having a moment. I didn't want you guys to.
Oh, no. This is Mojo 5-0. Everything goes. I mean, look, if she's over there.
Don't exploit her.
Bathing her.
She had an itch. Come on now.
She had an itch.
Look, she knows we're talking about her. Look at her.
She may want to see a doctor if she's got an itch. I mean, just saying. Hi, Gilly. Oh, she can't hear us. You got your headphones on. Anyway, so back to the race thing. My thoughts on your guys' conversation with Watson. To me, racial issues, and I don't care what side you're on, because there are racists on every side of politics, but in the human race, I think racism comes from fear, and fear of the unknown, or being uncomfortable, or maybe around other people's cultures that they just don't understand. I mean, and then it just turns into, racism is not natural. It's taught.
Right. I think that you're right. Racism is taught, because you can see that as kids grow up, they don't look at skin color.
No.
And, as you do grow older, though, I believe that it becomes ideological rhetoric. And unfortunately, we're a byproduct. Everybody's a byproduct of that in our current society.
Yeah, I of course, now I'm going back to the left and the right.
It's something that it's ingrained in us. You see it all over the news. You see it all over social media. It's the divide that we were talking about during the show. You just can't get rid of it. And just imagine if we did get rid of it, things would be totally different. The rhetoric would be gone. The racism would be gone. There wouldn't be no black, white, purple, blue, pink, whatever. It would just be Americans.
But the left can't have control if there is not division. Period.
Right. Neither can the right. It goes.
Well, you're right.
Yeah, it's both sides.
You're right. You are correct there. Neither one of them can have power, but it does seem to me that it seems like the left starts it and the right goes along with it.
Yeah.
Well, you heard what Joe Biden said the other day.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
To sum it up, there's no poor white kids.
That guy, I don't know who writes his stuff, or even if he, Joe, I can't wait for him to get the presidential nomination to go to debate with Trump, because boy, I tell you what, that's going to be comedy, just comedy gold, man.
Jerry, I tell you what, comedy gold, Jerry.
It's a lot better than this radio aluminum, isn't it, Rusty?
Absolutely. Of course, today we're bumping radio silver. I'm just saying.
Whoa, man, Rusty's bumping us up a notch.
That's because of our guest.
Well, it might be because
Absolutely.
dog licking herself in the background.
Yeah, I think so.
Going with the dog.
Well, but go ahead, Rusty.
I just wanted to switch go back to what I was talking about earlier. I know this is off track or whatever. The about the militia, seeing that, if the government starts taking guns, well, that's already happened in not too distant past. Katrina, the government came house to house, 5-man groups, and took people's guns. And I have to think, if that happens here, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's about organization and getting people, if they think it's going to start happening and getting them ready. But, if 5 guys come to my house carrying ARs and they're coming after my guns, what the hell am I going to do?
You're right.
I mean, seriously.
The only 5 guys I want at my house are the burger guys.
Well, exactly.
That's too much money. Anyway.
But I'm saying, I said this, and I guess I'm giving you a little bit of insight into the book here. Part of one of the chapters that I wrote on that, I said that most Americans are going to be willing to give their guns up should it come to that, because number one, they don't want to get hurt, and number two, they're too complacent, and number three, they don't want their family to get hurt. So they're going to give it up, most of them. I really, truly believe that, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I guess I've thought about this for myself, and if it were me, myself, and I'd obviously be more likely to go down. But if I go down and my family's back there, what are they going to have to live through if they're just captured or, and then taking everything away? What do they have to deal with if I'm not around?
Yeah, the government might bury them in a deep, dark hole and question them for the rest of their lives. And
sure.
Up. So there's a lot of variables in that. And that's what, I see a lot of these, I call them the 3-fingered selfie club. They take I don't associate with any 3%ers or anything like that, because they talk about the 3% being the 3% that rose up against the British government. It was actually 15%. So they need a history lesson, number one. And number two, they're not as organized as there are some. Like I said, the Lightfoot is very organized and they're a very great group. They train for all the right reasons. And but I've seen some really bad militias give everybody else a bad name, and it's just where do these people come from, man?
And you had mentioned earlier you believe that part of that's because of egos.
Yeah, definitely. And to answer Rusty's question, I don't know, Rusty. I mean, Katrina was actually during Katrina there wasn't I guess the militias, from a historical point of view of it, the militias were around, but they weren't as prominent. They became prominent after the whole Bundy Ranch incident.
Right. Yeah.
That wasn't.
So there is that.
Right.
Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that was a. Well, I'm trying to think here.
No, that was Nevada.
Chris, we can't hear you.
Chris, you're muted.
Aha! I muted myself.
Go ahead.
There you go.
A few moments ago, we were discussing Joe Biden and his gaffes.
Somehow, if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Yeah, so he's actually,
there you have it.
Idiot.
He's implying that the only children that are poor are not white.
Yeah. And he basically gave everybody that's white a compliment. He just said we're intelligent.
Well, no, actually, in my eyes, what he's saying,
That was a white supremacy statement.
He's confirming what in the left's mind, he's confirming what they already think, and that's that we have.
That's racist.
Is that
What
we have,
would happen if Donald Trump said that? Sorry, I cut you off.
That's racist.
Forget about it.
He's confirming what the left thinks, and that's that we all have white privilege.
I bought a white privilege card off of eBay. I got it around here somewhere. I got to dig it out of my garage and hang it up again.
Oh, I need one of those.
Yeah,
I do too. I do too.
eBay.
I
don't need a card. Look.
right, I know, right?
Driver's license.
That actually reminds me. My wife. This has been months ago. It's probably last year, actually. My wife and I were in a bar, actually a pub, restaurant, whatever, and just out for a couple drinks on a Friday night. And I sat down, and my wife's on my right, and there's some strange lady, whatever, on my left, and we just struck up a conversation, the three of us, and of course, it got into politics somewhat. And all of a sudden, she says, "Yeah, but you know, white people are mean. White people are evil." And I looked at my wife, and I looked back at her. And I said, "You know, you're white, right?" "Yes." I said, "So you're telling me that you're evil?" "Well, no." What? Oh my God!
They drink the Kool-Aid, man.
I'm like, do you realize what you're saying? You don't get it. You're just repeating what you hear on television. You're not thinking for yourself.
Tragic story.
Rosanna Arquette's tweet.
Oh, can you believe that, Melissa? I couldn't believe when I seen that. I was like, "What planet are you on?"
I was disgusted. That is dumb.
What did it say? I missed it.
Me too. Go ahead. Tell us about it.
No, I have to look it up.
No, she was apologizing for being white. She wished she'd never and her white privilege.
Yeah, she said something about just like Melissa just said. She said something about she apologized that she's white and that she grew up having white privilege.
Maybe you should just
I want some of that white privilege, man. I ain't had none of it, but I want some of it. I'm still looking for it.
Yeah, let's go down to the projects where people of all colors live, and let's see how many people with white skin have more privilege than the people with black skin do, or brown skin.
I said this on my show all the time. We used to talk about this, back in the day when we first started, and I took a lot of flack for saying this. I said, look, if you're a minority in this country, you got a better opportunity at making it successful than a white person does. That's a fact. I'm serious. You do.
It is a fact.
You have college. You got free college. You can do a trade. There's all kind of benefits that you have that we don't have. And I'm not saying that from a racial perspective. That's a fact. And if you can't make it here in America, I mean, really, where are you going to make it at?
Well, you're hitting you're hitting my triggers now. I mean, I hear these people. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. They have more privileges with, and I can never think of the damn name of it. With you said,
as they should. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but as they should. But I mean, when I hear this all the time, sorry, I didn't interrupt your train of thought.
No, it's okay.
But
I don't have one.
Crap all the time about I'm being oppressed.
No, that's all right. Yeah, it's sad. All right, we're gonna come back on the other side. Maybe we can finish that up, and we're gonna get into who Sarge is. Big Sarge with us. Hang around, guys. Off track. Welcome back from the hard break, folks. Hey, before we get too deep into finding out who Big Sarge really is, we want to give him the opportunity to tell everyone anything he'd like to tell you about the book and where to find it.
Well, I'm going to have it on barnesandnobles.com, amazon.com, and of course I'm going to have where you can order special copies. Like if you want to order a copy signed for me personally, I'll have a website where you'll be able to order it, and I'll have a bunch of books where I'll ship out from my house here as well. But I'm going to have 20 books limited edition, and the plan with these 20 books is they're going to be numbered, and they're going to have a special message in it, to those people that buy the book. Plus, there's going to be a special chapter in that book that's not in the regular books. So there's only going to be a limited edition of 20 of them. So yeah, that's where you can find it.
Nice.
So how much is it going to cost, like what Brad Staggs is doing? Are you going to lick any of the pages?
I'll look as many pages you want me to, Melissa.
Okay.
No,
We're going to call her Melissa Lippy. Licky or something. I don't know. Anyway. By the way, folks, don't forget, go over and check out Big Sarge's show, Mojo 50. He's on a number of places, so many places. I don't know any of them except for Spreaker, Mojo 50, and iHeartRadio, of course, where you can find Mojo. That's 6 p.m. Eastern on Mojo 50, Monday through Friday. And that leads me to my next question, and this is kind of a show host kind of question, host to host. So prior to being Monday through Friday, you were on Saturdays, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, you were on every Saturday for an hour. And of course you've done media and shows for what's the 2 for? 2 p.m. Eastern?
No. I was on for 2 hours on Saturdays.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh, it's 1 hour now. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. But you've done multiple shows, and like you do Big BSing with Big Sarge, which we were on there one time. That was freaking awesome, by the way. Yeah, and you know, it gives you time to relax and hang out and chat and all that. But you've been doing this for quite a while, first of all, right?
Yes, I have. I first started out on Blog Talk Radio back in the day, actually, right after 9/11. After I got out of the military, I got out of the military around 2005, and I started on Blog Talk Radio and on my BlackBerry device.
Wow.
And yeah, that's what I was doing it off of for a long time. Yeah, BlackBerry. Remember those little red brick BlackBerries?
Nope. Didn't have one.
Wow.
You and Obama, having your BlackBerries.
And then,
when it came time to dispose of your BlackBerry, did you do it properly? I understand.
With a hammer.
With a hammer?
Hammer. That's right. Yeah. With a hammer. And then, as time progressed, I took breaks here and there. I ended up having cancer. I had cancer twice, by the way. The first time I had it when I was in Arizona. And the second time I had it, I was here in Pennsylvania when I moved up here. And I decided, you know what? I haven't done it in a while, and I wanted to try to do something to get my mind off the side effects of the chemotherapy. So I started up doing radio again. And, I started out with like 15 views, and now it's up in tens of thousands. So I'm happy.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me at least, we're just starting. I know we're new and everything, but I have bigger expectations evidently than
you guys are actually doing a hell of a lot better than I was at your stage.
Really?
Yeah, you're killing it.
Well, okay. I'm gonna accept that, and hopefully we're just gonna follow in your footsteps. I would be more than happy for that.
Go ahead, you guys. Flip your hair back. Oh no.
I don't have any, so I could flip a couple nose hairs around if you need me to.
Fabio.
I need to trim those while we're anyway. So I guess like my question, show to show or host to host, is how much more do you have to prep and investigate or research? You're going from a 2-hour show on a Saturday to 5 days a week. I mean, it's 3 hours difference, but to me it's 5 days difference. How much difference is there?
Well, Zach, it's a huge difference. Whereas you had all week to prep for a Saturday show, now you have to prep the weekend, and then if the news changes I try to mix my stuff up because I don't like the regurgitated news crap all the time. So I like to do topics. I like to talk about topics, and then maybe we'll have fun. Like I call Fridays Fat Fridays. So, we'll just talk about whatever the hell comes, to our mind. And of course, the BSing with Big Sarge, which we're well overdue for, that's kind of raw. And, we drop whatever F-bomb we want to. We just talk. It's straight raw. And that's just a show to just get crazy, have a little bit of fun. And it's always been a huge hit. As a matter of fact, people are bugging me to do another one here soon. But yeah, man, it's tough. It really is tough. It certainly is.
Yeah, man, I'm waiting. Damn it.
Go ahead, Chris.
You guys will be the first to know.
Yeah, I missed the last one. I better be invited.
Yeah, actually, it was just Rusty and I over there at BSing with Big Sarge. It was a good time. Really good time.
Yeah, it's real hard. I mean, it's a total change from going to 1 day a week to 5 days a week. And you know, Zach and I try to span out what topics we want to talk about ahead of time. But again, sometimes the news dictates what those topics are, and then you'll just see me sometimes go on a freaking rant for a whole hour, and I'll just get crazy with a rant, whatever just comes off my chest, you know, from my heart. We're going back to video. We're doing audio right now. I love audio. I really do, because the sound quality is freaking phenomenal. But I'm missing something with the video. It's more interactive. You know, I can see myself. I can see the audience. They enjoy it. So September, we're going back to video.
Oh, very nice. You know, when we first started this, I didn't have any thoughts of ever putting videos out there. I don't. It just wasn't in my mind. But yeah, I think the audience, some of which probably, I don't know if I'd say crave it, but they enjoy it regardless. And if it's done right, I think it's presented well. I think people want it. So
Good thing we have a good producer.
yeah, that guy. Look, he looks just like me. You
That's what is that? Bryce Cranham? Was that?
Bryce Cannons.
I thought
You
it
want to
was.
get strike?
No, it's Big Crayons.
Big crayons.
Big crayons, like
Yes.
he's got a box. Never mind.
You want to get
That's
strike?
but that's not the same guy we had last week, right? That's somebody different.
No. That other guy is on vacation.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah, he goes on vacation a lot. Somebody should fire that guy.
He's always camping or glamping. Excuse me.
He fell in the campfire.
Oh, whoa. Anyway, so
Liar, pants on fire.
okay, yeah, that. So I have some questions, but do any of you guys have questions? Because I'll
you
just ramble
first,
on.
Whiskey, go.
yeah, I do. How tall are you, Sarge?
Almost 6'5".
Oh, you're making me look like
6'5". What? Dang. What do you? I think
Are you
I heard
serious?
you say you had lost some weight or something. What do you like? You said you were like 300 pounds, but you lost some weight or something.
Pounds, brother. Yeah, when I had cancer the second time, I almost died this time around. Believe it or not, I wasn't supposed to make it through, but I made it through.
Damn.
And I was down to about 185 pounds. And
Damn.
just imagine for 1 second, going 2.5 years, not being able to eat what you want to eat. And then the minute your taste buds and everything come back, you just go hog freaking wild. And that's when I gained the weight. I'm getting it under control right now. The wife got me walking. I'm going to the gym. I'm back in the gym lifting weights again. But I was in shape. I was really in shape before I before I had cancer. And you know, this time around, I'm just like, you know what? Every time I get into shape, it seems like something goes wrong. I'm just going to be fat and healthy and happy.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that on a t-shirt.
There you
No.
go.
Hell yeah.
My dad had parasitic sarcoma. I can't remember how you pronounce it, but it's a canine cancer. Actually, it's very rare, and it was in his lymph nodes, and he completely, like his whole life, like flipped. He did this, you know, completely. He refused all treatment and went completely holistic. Changed his diet, went to the gym, you know, like he would spend half the day at the gym working out.
I wish I would have done that.
And you know, yeah, and at 70 years old, he was able to put his feet on top of 60 inches off the ground and do 40 consecutive push-ups without stopping at 70 years old, and making me look like a fool, you know.
I would have done that if I had a chance to do it all over again. I wouldn't have went the chemotherapy route, and then of course I had an operation. I had 3 lumps on my stomach, and they were about a little bit bigger than a golf ball, about that size. And what the human body's amazing. They were the 3 lumps were actually, no, I don't want to gross your audience out, but they were blocking. You got a major artery that runs from your stomach into your legs and stuff. It was actually blocking that major artery. So what my body actually did was create a highway of veins and stuff over these lumps or these masses, so I could get blood and oxygen to my legs. My doctor said he's never seen anything like it. He called me Wolverine for a while.
No,
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're kind of going off the beaten path here, off track, of course. Have you ever heard anything about turmeric, but curcumin that's in turmeric?
What's that?
It's called curcumin. I think it's called pronounced curcumin. Thank you. I wasn't doing that right.
I take turmeric. Turmeric. Okay. I never heard of the other one, but I take turmeric right now.
So I was actually on Spoonie listening to. Oh gosh, I'm looking it up.
Those guys are phenomenal over there. I learned a lot watching it.
Those guys are awesome, and some of the shows. And I'm looking back through my text to my wife because I texted her about the book. And the
Gwen?
No, it actually Gwen Rich and the Rich Solution, but no, it was actually early in the morning. But
of course, I'm doing something I probably shouldn't be doing, and that's drinking alcohol. But I'm never going to stop doing that. I don't get completely, trashed. I'm a weekend drinker. And I'll drink occasionally through the week because mostly the time I'm just coming home, going to the gym, and passing the hell out because I'm too old and too tired.
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll never give the rum up.
While Whiskey's searching for that, I want to get into a side question here. A little bit further off track, down a trail somewhere.
Ooh, he's got a side boob.
All right.
Well, nothing better than side boob.
Big Sarge.
Full boob. Anyway.
Your favorite thing, if you don't have to work and you don't have a show to do, what is your favorite thing to go do with a Saturday afternoon?
Oh wow! If I didn't have a show and I didn't have you saying if I had I didn't have to have a job? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no. I mean, it's Saturday. Work's done for the week. You don't have a show to prep for. The backyard is all freshly mowed because all your kids did it for you.
Sure.
You've got Saturday afternoon to go do whatever you want. What is it you're going to go do?
Either one of two things. I'd spend some time with the kids and my grandson. He's my sidekick. Or I'd take the wife probably to a vineyard or somewhere like that, or some type of festival. I love doing that.
Yeah, we got a great story about the grandson, the sidekick. Last night.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. You want me to tell it?
Go ahead, tell it.
Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually sending you links right now as we speak. So go ahead.
So I got a house full of women. My daughter, my stepdaughter lives with us, which is my grandson's mother. My 13-year-old, of course, is here, and then my wife. Well, that time of the month when everybody sinks together and it gets a little crazy in the house, I'm down in the bunker. I don't go nowhere else. All right. So my grandson, I'm down in the bunker doing some research for a Saturday show. Next thing you know, I see the door open, and my grandson comes in. He has his tablet in his hand. He sits down. I have a brown chair. I'm in here. He sits down. He goes, and I'm like, "What's up, buddy?" He goes, "Grandpop, women are mean."
Oh, that's good.
I go, "What's the matter, buddy?" He says, "Grandma, Mom, and Tita." Tita's Albanian for aunt, and that's my daughter. He goes, "So mean today, so mean." I said, "Well, just hang out here with Pop Pop. You'll be all right." He's all day long. He's oh man, I call him a mean man.
Oh man, that is gold.
Okay, well, I found what I was looking for, and it's a show over on Spoonie.com, Spoonie Radio. And it's called Food Talk for Health, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of the lady who does the show, but I also sent the link to the show that I listened to. She had a couple doctors on there talking about, and one of them was cancer, and people in India who don't seem to get cancer as much, and one of the reasons is they think the studies have shown that it's because of the curcumin that's in turmeric.
Oh yeah. I've heard about that. I actually
and the curry and the dot.
It's the dot, ain't it? That's what it is.
I know.
I knew it.
All I had to do was get me a dot. Dang it.
Yeah, I know. But I also heard for that to work effectively, the turmeric, whatever you want to call it, and the curcumin together, you have to take it within a time frame of eating some kind of fat.
Yes.
Like olive oil, avocado, or some kind of fat in order for it to absorb
I
in
like
your body.
coconut oil.
He actually discusses what you just said, Melissa, on the show that I just said, and I'll send it to the rest of you guys too. As a matter of fact, I will put the link to this show from Spoonie over in the off track. I'll have to remember to do that actually on.
So where do we find Spoonie Radio anyways?
Well, it's Spoonie.com for one, and Spoonie on Facebook, and Spoonie on iHeartRadio, Spoonie.com, all of that. Spoonie. Go get us some.
And then after you've watched a couple of Spoonie episodes, you'll be making food, and you'll need to take it to like a barbecue or something. And what better way to transport foods that you need to keep cold to a barbecue at a picnic?
Oh, really? In a cat cooler?
Yeah, I was thinking about a cat cooler.
Well, let me tell you about a cat cooler. Now that you brought it up, and thanks for the segue.
Very nice, Chris.
Very smooth. Smooth. That Crayon Bryce, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, that was like butter.
So if anybody doesn't know anything about cat coolers, they make it's like Caterpillar Tractor Company, you know. They make some really big badass tractors, and I know that for a fact. As a matter of fact, we won't get into that. The officially licensed cat cooler is the only cooler tough enough to be called cat, designed for the durable and rigorous. Let me enunciate with my diction. Tough enough for the needs of the job site. The cooler will take the abuse of the construction industry. Let me tell you what. It's also going to save you some damn money because you're not going to be buying ice as much. It holds ice up to 7 days.
It's
What
true.
happens on the seventh day? Dylan had a good question last week. On the seventh
God
day,
took a
does it
break.
just poof?
God took a break. Just saying.
Oh,
It's true.
Look.
He rested. I don't know.
Not only will it, I'm telling you, and somebody needs to test this out. Not only will it keep cold stuff cold, but it will also keep hot stuff hot.
Well, that's a good point.
Like that one girl?
yeah, we're sticking Rocky in a cooler. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
No, she's
I think
gorgeous.
She's gorgeous now. She's not hot anymore.
No,
it's
it keeps
insulated, so
gorgeous in. But let
so
me tell
if
you. Let me tell you about their customer service. I ordered one within a couple of days.
Bam.
Wayne contacted me the next day, and then the day after that, I got my tumbler.
Yeah, I got the camouflage one. I love it.
Oh, you got the actual
oh
cooler.
man,
I've heard if you take that out in the jungle, it's hard to find though. You don't take that out in the woods, right?
It's okay in the desert.
The jungle anytime soon.
So have you used your cat cooler yet, Big Sarge?
Oh yeah, heck yeah, I use it religiously.
Well then, so
There you go.
love it, and it holds up to its name, and it does hold ice that long, huh?
One bag of ice I started in Pennsylvania. 4 days later, I still had it on the way back from Jeremy's.
Well, there you go. It makes trips back
Boom.
and forth to Missouri, from Pennsylvania to Missouri, and it holds ice the whole time. So there you go, folks.
Also indestructible and warranted for life.
Indestructible.
it's pretty
20
damn tough. It's pretty damn tough.
2,500 pounds from 25 feet. That's close enough to indestructible for me.
But if you're transporting food and it's warm food and you stick it in the cooler or the insulated box is what it is, it will keep it warm. I'm just telling you. It will.
Where would we go find one of these if we wanted to get one?
Catcoolers.com. That is catcoolers.com. Rusty, can you spell that for us?
No.
Come on, big words with Rusty.
Okay. CATCOOLERS.
Don't forget the dot. Catcoolers.com. Okay.
Like an applause button.
I do have never mind. I don't want to look for it now. Okay.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
All right. So you anybody else have some? Because I'm going to get into some history with Big Sarge here. Not history of him.
Bring it.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, I would like to know your story of growing up. I mean, where'd you grow up, and what was your story before Big Sarge was Big Sarge?
Oh man, you gonna bring me back now?
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Pennsylvania, of course.
He was Little Sarge.
No, he
Where
wasn't.
at? Where at in Pennsylvania? Where at?
Big Private. Whoa.
Where?
Keep that bell handy because you're going to use it here.
Oh, I got it right here. It's Handy J right here.
Where were you, Sarge, in Pennsylvania? Because the wife is from Pennsylvania.
I grew up in the Harrisburg area, Cumberland County area, Cumberland Valley area. Went to school there for many years, and then my dad bought a house.
Harrisburg.
It was called Perry County, and I went from a graduating class of about 700 to, like, I think it was 45.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a huge culture shock for me. So my 11th and 12th grade year, I graduated in what was called Newport High School. I grew up on farms. I used to help break horses. We used to buy horses from Wyoming, the Mustang horses from Wyoming, bring them out and train them. And my first job was 20. I was working $20 a day, baling hay all day long, and I actually loved it. I grew up in the mountains, not a city boy, so you won't see me in the city. My wife loves the city. I don't like the city, so we're kind of out in the suburbs. Or actually, we're out in rural area now. You know, I bought a house out in a rural area, so I'm happy I'm out here. I like the nature. I think that's what drew me to the military, you know, always being out. Because I used to take a horse and go up in the mountains by myself when I was 9, 10 years old. You can't do that now. Kids can't do that now. They're so dependent.
Yeah, you can't do anything these days that you should be able to do when we were growing up. I mean, like, you can't even ride a freaking bike without having to wear a helmet by the law.
Right. And believe it or not, I'm the exception to the rule, because you hear this all the time, and I hate to get back to the politics thing, but you hear the politics thing where, divorced family coming up from a bad background. I'm not going to go into detail on that. Bad family and so on and so forth. My parents divorced when I was 3 years old, so I was supposed to be a statistic. And I got a master's degree. I got 2 bachelor's degrees. I graduated from top of the honors in college when I did my master's, and I got a decent radio show, and I got a great job, great life, and it just goes to show you that don't believe in everything you hear. You can make it. No matter how tough it is, you can pull yourself up by the bootstraps and get out of that shit.
100% agree with that. There's no
Amen.
There is no precedent that has been set for anyone that says you have to be a victim of your circumstances. Wow, that went really, really fast.
Wow, yeah, it did.
Wow. Okay, well, folks, you know what to do. Stick around for more derailment. Off track. Welcome back, folks. We're in here getting it done tonight. Got the one, the only, the Big Sarge hanging out with us tonight. And, man, it's been a great show. And speaking of great shows, Big Sarge has a great show.
Thank you.
He's over on Mojo 50, 6 p.m. Eastern, every Monday through Friday evenings. And just on the other side of the break, we were talking about Big Sarge and where he grew up and all that. And Rusty or Chris, if you guys don't have anything, I'm going to continue on with some questions here. But if you do, please go ahead.
Well, I know what he did in the military, but I still want to hear about it because tanks are freaking awesome.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, that's not confirmed nor denied. So
I'll tell you what. When I first joined, it was 89, okay? And when I walked into the recruiter station, I wasn't even thinking about a tank. I actually walked into the Air Force recruiting station first because I wanted to be a pararescue guy. and they couldn't give me the job. They said I'd be on a 2-year wait list or something like that. And I was like, no, I'm ready to join now. So the Marines tried to get me, and I said, no way in hell I'm going to be a jarhead. Because my uncle was a jarhead, and I seen how stupid he was. My best friend's a jarhead, so I'm going to never hear the end of that one.
I'm going to play this for my son. He's going to be joining the Marines next year.
I'm walking by the Army Recruiting Center, and I see this video playing. And I'm like, all right. So I walk into the recruiting. I kind of just sit down. Nobody said hi or anything. I just walked in and sat down in a bunch of crowd of folks that were sitting there. They thought I was part of the whole, part of the crowd. I started watching this video, and I'm like, holy crap, it's this freaking M1, it's this M60 tank making jumps and shooting and 50 cals firing, and it's really cool. Now, back then it was VHS tapes, right?
Right.
So I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do that. I stood right up, and it wasn't even finished yet. I stood right up and said, I want to talk to a recruiter about doing that. I want to be a tanker. Now, I scored some of the highest scores that you could get on the ASVAB. So the recruiter came up after they looked into me and everything. They were like, are you sure you want to be a tanker? And I'm like, hell yeah, I want to be a tanker. And man, I was the last of the dinosaur tankers, the M68-3s. And then the M1s came out later on after that. And man, the best job I ever had. I love it.
So when you say, for the listening audience who doesn't understand, when you say a tanker, does that mean you were like a tank, quote, commander, and you did all that, or what?
As a loader, went from a loader to a driver, from a driver to a gunner, and I had my own tank at the end. Yep. I love it.
You actually deployed in this position.
Oh yeah. Yep. To the desert. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it. We're shooting targets of 4,000 meters, man. We're shooting tanks at 4,000 meters.
Hell yeah. So my question is, do you get assigned one tank and you keep that tank, or do they move you from tank to tank?
It depends what company you're in. If you stay like in a company, a platoon, and it depends on your rank. Like for example, if you're a specialist that just got promoted to sergeant, E4 to E5, sergeant's usually a gunner, a tank. So if there's an opening on another tank that needs a gunner, then you move to that tank as a gunner. And the same thing with the tank commander. It depends on the platoon and the company you're in.
So you may switch crews sometime.
Yeah. Most of the time, tank commanders usually have they're the longevity of the bunch, but the other crew members, like hell, I can remember one gunnery. I used to love loading. I had the fastest loading. As a matter of fact, I don't know if it's been broken yet, but National Training Center down in the Mojave Desert, California, it's down near Barstow. I still have I don't know if I still have it, but when I had left there, I had the live fire exercise record of hitting the most targets, in a tank.
That's bad.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, I do know where that is over there.
So I have to ask also, the reason I ask that is, I'm assuming each tank has its own personality. Like some are prone to do some things and others are prone to do. Did you have like a favorite tank, or one that you wished you could have hung with, or they were all pretty much the same, or how'd that?
When I was in Delta Company in 164 Armor in Korea, we were called the Demons. I was in 3rd Platoon, and I had I think the tank was 3-2, if I don't 3-2, Charlie or Delta 3-2. And that was the best tank I ever had. I can't remember if it was 3-2 or not, Delta 3-2. It's been so long. But the Delta Company tank when I was in Korea, stationed in Korea, that was the best tank I've ever been on, man. I could shoot on a dime, daylight sights, nightlight, you name it, infrared. It doesn't matter. That tank was spot on. Then I had a tank when I was at Fort Knox that I couldn't stand. I couldn't shoot for anything. I couldn't load a damn round into it. The breach was crazy. When I was a loader, I had again, another record, I guess you could say. I was a big guy, so loading those rounds, from the into the breach, you had like 2 or 3 seconds to load rounds into the breach, and my fastest record was 2.1 seconds, and that's from taking almost a 50-pound to a 60-pound round, dropping it and loading it in a breach and pushing up and saying ready to fire.
Is that a 105 howitzer?
What's that?
Is that a 105 round?
No howitzer. It was a 120 round, 120 mil.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
and I have a buddy of mine. Actually, he's a jarhead. He was. He's over in Yuma. He's out of the service and everything now, but he's actually, and I don't. They actually, it's been a few years since he told me this, but they're working on a 155, or maybe they've already got it out by now.
I think the 83s are 155, if I'm not mistaken, or they're trying to. Anyhow, yeah, I heard about that. I can't imagine that.
Dude, he deals with this. He keeps wanting me to come out and go to the range with him, and I'm like, yes, I will. I keep forgetting to do it. So one of these days, I'll make my ass over to Yuma and get up and get to see one of these 155s. I actually brought back 5. This is probably not confirmed either. Oops. But I think there's a time anyway. I brought back 5 spent rounds off of a gunship, actually.
Nice.
A 130 AC 130. When I was over in Jordan, I ended up getting hooked up with the guys who I used to be stationed with out of Hurlburt Field, for Special Ops in Florida, and they brought me back 5 spent rounds when they were over the Gulf on a mission.
Nice. I remember I was in Somalia. I remember Puff flying around in Somalia all the time, and man, when you would hear the 30 mics go up.
Yes.
All of a sudden you'd see these rounds just flying out of the 105 that it had in Puff, and then you'd hear this boom, 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 and whatever was in that ground it was aiming at was just
gone.
Like, Puff. We loved Puff, man.
I gotta tell you this. So, okay, you'll get a kick out of this. When I first, I did a permanent change of station down from Alaska, actually, to Hurlburt Field, Florida, and I lived on base for, I don't know, a month or so, and then me and a buddy who I had met ended up getting it was an old trailer. You know, I rented it from my boss for $150 a month, or whatever it was. And our very first night, oh my gosh, we go to bed, and in the middle of the night, all of a sudden you're just boom, 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 and we're coming up out of our beds. We're flying out the door, figuring what the hell's going on, and it went on and on. So we didn't sleep worth a shit that first night, and the second night it was and so I go back into work, and I'm like, what is going on with, what is all this racket? Oh, you live right outside the bombing range. Oh, thanks. Dude, it took us weeks to get used to that. But once you did, we were able to sleep through it, which was kind of scary, because then when you get deployed, you're prone to sleep through things.
I tell you what, we slept on a table 12 is table 12. Now, tank table 12, it goes all day long and all night long, and it's tanks, it's Bradleys, it's the C-130s flying over shooting at targets, and then it's the Apache helicopters firing Hellfires. This is all night long. And when we go through, every company goes through their tank table. When we're finished with our tank table, it was usually in the night. We crawl up on our tanks and just, hit our fart sacks and just pass out. And they're still boom, 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 and we're just sacked out like Jack. We didn't care.
You get so tired, you'll sleep.
Man.
Yes.
What's up, Rocky?
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen?
So we have a surprise guest. Kind of random, I suppose, huh?
Sure.
You're becoming like the regular random.
I'm always up for some random action, apparently.
Yes. Whoa, hold on, let me get a little random. Come on, you gotta have some standards, Rocky.
At least I know you all.
Look, you know where we've
Chance
been,
to get
right?
to know Big Sarge a little bit better.
Are you drinking a Yingling?
I'm drinking a Yingling Black and
Stop.
Tan.
Cheers. I'm
Wow.
trying to get on board as a sponsor, but they're not biting.
You suck.
You just have to keep trying.
Jeez.
So, if you had a question for Big Sarge, because you can do that right now, what would it be?
Yeah.
Why do they call you Big Sarge?
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Was this discussed previously on the show,
Nope.
for starters?
Absolutely
Okay.
not.
Was it?
There you go. So, quick thinking.
Brand, we decided to do when I transitioned from show to show, And from doing, from, like I said, back in the day, doing it on a BlackBerry to transition to doing on video. And I said, you know what, I need a brand. And since I was in the military, I want to do something, military oriented. I was an NCO, so I'm tall, I'm a big guy, so why not just put Big Sarge in? And that's how Big Sarge came about.
All right. Well, that was an easy question, or a question with an easy answer anyway. So, I guess. So how long have you been doing radio then?
Off and on for about 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's a professional.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
not like the rest of us doing rinky dinky.
He has more experience in radio than all four of us combined.
I'm sure of that. I do not
that's
doubt it for
true.
a second.
I'm just along for the ride. Just like
God, I can't imagine 12 years from now. I mean, who knows where this will be, if it'll be,
Right.
I can't
It's gotta be
imagine.
fun to be along for the ride for a night, though, right? Being
man,
just
I'm
a
loving
guest
this,
and not
man.
having to run the show.
This is awesome, man. We need more of this type of stuff, these types of shows. There needs to be more of this interaction like this. 5, 6 people just talking, shooting a bull, and asking questions. This is awesome, man. I'm having such a great time. This could very well turn into a 3 or 4 hour show. Easy.
Oh,
absolutely.
And let me tell you, and it has not happened lately, but there have been nights, like especially when we were on Skype, to where, there's been nights. 4 o'clock in the morning has came and went.
Oh wow.
And it was nonstop, but
That's what I heard.
well, you just gotta have stamina, Rocky. Anyway,
I don't know. As long as someone stops for water breaks, I mean.
you gotta hydrate. You have to. Where's the water boy at when you need him?
Water breaks and snack breaks. That's all you need.
Let me tell you something. And Big Sarge and Rocky, everyone here has experienced the. I'm drawing a blank on my own damn show. Life in Progress.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. So yes, I really do want to do more of those. And
Awesome, man. You need to keep that up. Those are phenomenal.
well, thank you. I appreciate that. And it helps me deal with me. It doesn't solve it, but one day at a time. And if it can help anybody else, what's that?
And that's all. Sometimes that's all you need. You just need to have that out. That something that gets you going.
What were you gonna say, Rusty?
I want to get Zach in on. He's doing a similar type show, from what I heard, right?
Yeah, Cerebral Connection. Zach's actually he's not licensed yet. He's in the process of getting his license for it, but he's a therapist. I mean, he's written books on schizophrenia, PTSD, anxiety, depression. The guy's phenomenal. The guy's really good.
We need to
we're
get
gonna need
him
you to
and
hook him up
Melissa
with us.
hooked up.
Dude, you
Yeah,
guys
yes.
anytime you want to, I'll let him know. He's fun to hang around too, man. Zach and I cut it up all the time.
See, Melissa's actually working on her master's right now, or is it her? Yeah, her master's and her is it psychologist
Counselor.
or therapist, counselor? One of them certificates, and she's getting close. She's almost there. And so so we we preface it that we are not professionals, that it's all experience based opinions. So
Well, we could bring on a real The Rapist.
well, the thing is as much as I think that would be awesome, and by all means, I'm not saying I won't, because I would love to do that, and hopefully we can. I think the listeners appreciate just the personal experiences from other individuals. It's you know what? It's me as a human opening up to other people.
Right,
and
right.
say, look, I'm just like you. You know what? Yeah, I'm on the radio now. I wasn't 6 months ago. I was just like you, and I still am. I'm just another dude.
And sometimes talking about these issues really becomes a cathartic experience for you, where you're able to find that realization, where sometimes just talking it out makes you realize, oh, this is what I've been doing wrong. And maybe hearing other people sharing an experience that's very similar to yours helps you find that, that aha moment. So it's not therapy, but it's much like when you just talk openly to someone and the floodgates just open, you let everything out, and that's when sometimes when you say things, that's when you realize what it is that's going on with you.
Right.
Keeping it inside you all the time and replaying scenes and replaying scenarios of maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that. Sometimes just talking about it just comes blurting it. You blurt it out, and that's when it clicks.
Well, and for me, it's go ahead.
I said, look at Rocky. Go Rocky.
Oh, she knows how to go.
Oh yeah.
Oh well. Wow. What about a confidence?
So yeah, for me, it's okay. So since I've been doing this, and not just the Life in Progress, but the Off Track, listening to other people and like you say, kind of doing that group therapy type of thing, I have had many aha moments, and of course that doesn't solve any of them, but it's opening my eyes to think, okay, do I try and deal with this myself, continuing down the same path, or should I see a professional or what? But at least it gives me options, and it's becoming self-aware. And I think regardless of whether you see a professional or not, it has to help. Yeah. As long as you're being honest with yourself.
And you guys kill it. I mean, really, the first time you shared it, I was like, oh, what's this? And I listened to it. I was like, man, this is good. You're onto something with that. I mean, you guys got a phenomenal show here, and then you got that going on at the same time. You got something there. You definitely got something. You need to stay with it.
Well, I definitely appreciate it, and like I always say, I couldn't do it without these other folks that have they've helped lift this whole thing up. So much appreciated, all the hard work that goes into this. I mean, Rusty takes naps.
Where else can you go from talking about loading and firing tanks to
I know, right?
Talking about therapy here.
Hey, look, this is Off Track, baby. That's what we do.
Way off track. Way off track.
Sitting around bullshitting. I agree.
That's
awesome. Therapy. It's therapy, and I love it.
Very therapeutic.
Well, we've got like 10 minutes left, but
something
ahead.
that came to me earlier, and I didn't want to interrupt people. When Big Sarge said, "You guys are light years ahead of where I started at when I had the BlackBerry and blah blah blah," I think that is something incredibly positive to say about Mojo 50, the company that Doc Thompson built, and the people that he brought in the community that he made. Because you and me and Rusty and the Bells of Liberty and all of the shows that are learning have the resources available to us and the people that are willing to help us. People like Stephen Airy and Dylan and Big Sarge and Jeremy Hansen that are willing to take time out of their day for a minute and say, so this is the problem you're having? Let me show you how to solve that. It's just amazing. And Mojo 50 is...
That it's a community and it's not an every man for himself. You fend for yourself, you figure it out kind of sentiment amongst everybody. And that's something that you don't see in other networks. Everybody has their own. I have my own team and I have my own people. Here we are our own people. We help each other out because that's what we're supposed to do. And sometimes we don't ask for it. Sometimes someone says, hey, I can help you figure something out. And I'm looking at you, Chris Branham. Hey, what do you think about this? And you have no idea how appreciated that action is, because sometimes we don't realize what we're capable of until someone steps in and says, hey, I think you should do this. Maybe you should try doing this in a different way so that you can grow, so that we can all grow. Because that's the thing. The feeling that I get from Mojo is that if we don't all succeed, none of us succeed.
Right.
So,
and that's one of the reasons why I joined this network. I was one of the guys that was anti-network. I didn't. I ran one back in the day, Redcon One Media, for a while, and the egos in this industry are just terrible. And it actually almost made me quit doing this because the people were just so greedy with money, and they were just terrible people, egotistical. They did backstabbing. The industry is a very tough industry. And Jeremy approached me one day and said, "Hey, I'm on Mojo 50," and I was like, "Well, I never heard of Mojo 50." And I started watching and checking it out, and I seen you guys come on a little bit later on after. I'm an old man. I'm usually in bed by 8, and then
I should be.
I catch everybody on the replay in my office in the morning, and no, I don't. I'm working in the morning, but anyhow,
records are sealed.
Something like that.
I said, you know what? Jimmy's like, well, have you ever reached out to Ron and get your show on because you got a phenomenal show, Sarge? And I was like, I have bad luck with networks. I don't know, but I talked to Ron. I got a good feeling from Ron. I said I'll give it a shot, and it's been phenomenal ever since.
I'll tell you what, that guy, and honestly, it's yes, Ron is phenomenal. I don't want to just stick this all to Doc Thompson, and you know what? Yes, a lot of this stems from his vision, but unfortunately he's not here, and the fact that the people who are still here at Mojo 50 still. They also have those visions. It's not just Doc Thompson. So kudos to Ron and Beth and Brad and all the people at Mojo 50 who still give us that opportunity. You know what? Look, Sarge has been in radio for 12 years. And like Rocky down here and many other show hosts who started out as listeners. Wow. I never in my lifetime, I wanted to do this for a long time or something along these lines. Like Big Sarge and I were talking, we start listening to Bob and Tom. Dude, I loved it. And I loved,
Yay, toast.
Yes. Haywood Banks. I love it. I love all of this, what we're doing. And if this can grow, thank you. Well, it doesn't matter if it grows or not. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
For the folks at Mojo 50 for giving us that. And if it grows, oh my gosh, if I can ever repay that, I don't even know what to say to that.
You know that this is the wave of the future. We are the pioneers for the new type of radio. This is it right here.
Maybe someday we'll get paid.
Sure, I'll be able to quit both my jobs.
And until then, I don't care. I'm having a good time, and I hope something I say and reaches someone, and maybe it changes their life. Maybe it just changes their day. Maybe it just puts a smile on their face for 5 minutes. That makes me happy.
If it motivates them to be a better person, then you've won.
Bingo.
Well, okay, fine. I will take that right now.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it all up. We do this for fun, but at the end of the day, it's something we're very passionate about. And people say, I'm not in it for the money. Well, I'm in it for the money. I'm not going to lie.
Sure.
I want to make money doing this because this is something that I want to do for a living because I enjoy doing it. And I don't consider it work, but at the end of the day, we all want to make some money doing this. And like I said, I really, truly believe that, we're the pioneers of the wave of the future.
I think you're right. And
I love
the
that.
part I struggle with is getting other people, like say, for instance, the rest of my friends, I post stuff on Facebook and all the socials all the time. And I think they just I don't know what that is. Just scroll right by it, whatever. I have a struggle trying to figure out how to reach those people to grab their attention to say, hey, look, this is the future.
Screw them.
Well, no, I don't. I could see it in Chris's eyes. I glanced over there. I shouldn't have looked at him.
You knew it was coming.
I was holding that button. I was ready. Yes, there he goes.
Perfect timing.
Oh my goodness! Hey guys, we're coming.
Not screw them. I get what you're saying. We still want to reach them. We want to reach out to them. We want to educate and help people understand.
Mm-hmm.
We do, absolutely do. We're getting ready to wrap this up, folks, and before we go, I want Big Sarge, tell everybody again where they can find you and about your book and anything else you want to say.
You can find me over on Facebook at The Big Sarge Show, facebook.com/The Big Sarge Show. Of course, we're on Mojo 50 Radio under The Big Sarge Show, and over on Spreaker with Downrange with Sarge. That was my old show. And the book's tentatively, I'm on track to release it the first week of September. So if I stay on track, then of course I'm off track right now. But if I could,
right.
You like how I did say that, huh?
Yes.
If I could stay on track with that, then September.
Radio professional.
That's right. If I can release it the first week of September, then the book will be out, and more to come on that.
Well, that is
Great
awesome.
time, guys. I had a blast tonight. Thank you for allowing me to come on as a guest.
You know what never got played all night? We made it all the way through to the end.
That's because we didn't hit that stage in the show, which, let me tell you what, Rusty's going to tell you, we might even made radio. Did you say silver?
Silver. We're definitely up to silver tonight.
Let me tell you,
Close today, right? Yeah.
if Rusty Lugnuts can tell us that we're at radio silver, we got one step left, and we're at gold, baby.
Nice.
Gold.
Oh, hey, I got one more dumb law I got to tell us about before the music gets here.
Yeah, because we got...
Hurry up.
Quick.
So, in the city of, I believe it's Chico, California, it is illegal to detonate a nuclear device. The fine for such is $1,500.
That's it? $1,500? You expect that to stop?
Who's going to be there to give them the fine?
Yeah, no one. And on that note, you guys know what to do. Come back next week. Get derailed and go off track with Whiskey 6. Damn it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm pointing at you. Sorry. Don't get triggered. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next time.